Hello and welcome to Bottleship with our friends the Jifflings. If you enjoy the show, please leave a review and share the podcast with your friends. And stay tuned to the end of the show when the Jifflings will read out some of your reviews. And now it's time for today's special bonus episode, the Ducks Shoelace. In your world, things are important. But what about the things that aren't important anymore? Well, sometimes those things end up here in the magical land of Dilstonia, where the Jifflings live on their little Jiffling ship. They find these things that we throw away and fish them out of their sea so they can recycle them and put them to good use once again. And here they are now, ready to work. Eccentric young pumpkin.
Ooh, I'm ever so excited.
The Hedge, who was a very lazy Jiffling.
Like, hey man, is it time for bed yet?
Miss Katie, who loves fixing things and dressing up. Sometimes I like both together. Albert, the ship's gardener.
Hey, who's been into me cabbage patch like?
And Freidaline, a very sensible Jiffling who looks after everybody on the ship.
Yeah, that is correct. Oh.
Today on the ship, everyone is having a great time because today it is April Fool's Day when all the Jifflings get to have fun little jokes with each other.
Hey.
This April Fool's Day, Albert was the first to get a funny little surprise when he sat down to his Jiffling's breakfast.
Oh, wait a minute. My spoon is all wibbly-wobbly. Ha! Ja, Herr Albert. This is because me and Miss Katie swapped it for one made out of jelly. Oh, hey. That is a funny trick.
Miss Katie smiled at Albert and handed him back his real spoon so that he could eat up his yummy Jiffling porridge. Then, before long, it was Freidaline's turn for a surprise.
Oh, what is this?
Freidaline tapped her spoon on the top of her porridge, which was completely solid.
Like, ha-ha, Freidaline man. Me and Albert put your porridge in the freezer overnight. Hey. Ha-ha-ha. Well, you are the silly pair.
Everyone laughed, and Hedge went to get Freidaline her real bowl of porridge. Soon, Albert and Miss Katie, and Freidaline and the Hedge were all tucking into their delicious breakfast when young Pumpkin burst into the kitchen, looking super excited.
Woo! Look, everybody, it's me, young Pumpkin. And now it's time for my April Fool's Day surprise.
Young Pumpkin reached behind the door where he had stacked a huge pile of gooey, messy custard pies. He grabbed one eagerly, and before anyone could object, he launched one right at Hedge, who wasn't expecting that at all.
Hey!
Oh my! Now the Hedge is quite covered in sloppy custard mess from head to toe.
Woo! What a fun game! Like, kind of. But I'd rather have pies in my tummy, man.
Hedge licked his paw, which cheered him up slightly.
Yeah.
But Freidaline frowned.
Pumpkin, we all like to have fun on the April Foolish Day. But you must not take things too far.
Well, it seemed young Pumpkin might not really be listening, as he was already approaching Miss Katie, wielding yet another messy pie. Quickly, Miss Katie ducked under the table. She was wearing one of her favourite costumes, her special cowgirl's outfit, and she really didn't want it to get all sticky. No, Pumpkin! Please don't mess up my...
Ooh, isn't this just the most fun ever, Miss Katie?
Not for me, Pumpkin. I didn't want to get all messy, and now you've ruined my costume. Oh dear, poor Miss Katie. There isn't even time to clean up, because that sound means an object which has been lost or thrown away on Earth has turned up in your net. So now you all need to rescue it together. The object landed on deck with an oopsie. It was long and ropey and very colourful.
Well, I think that's a tightrope that an acrobat can use to tippy-toe across.
Then Freidaline stepped forwards, for she knew what the object was. She flambled up onto the story seat, and then she began her tale.
This is the Duckling Shoelace, and my old wind chime maker, Gusty Ding Dong, told me all about it. Once, on a little island called Linda's Farm, there was a lovely pond where a paddling of ducks lived. There was the big, heavy mallard duck, and some noisy, white-faced whistling ducks. And then there was a very fluffy little duckling called Ryan. Ryan Duckling was very young, so he loved to have fun all the time. He would do big zoomies all across the water and jump around and pretend to fall over. Woo! Hello, everybody! It's me, Ryan Duckling! Whoopsie! Then, one day, as he was zooming about, Ryan found a bright, colourful shoelace that was left behind by one of the children visiting the pond. And this gave him an idea. Quick! I know what's even more fun than me falling over! Ha! Everyone else falling over! Ha ha! So, whilst the other ducks slept, Ryan quietly tied everyone's big flappy feet together with the shoelace. First, he tied up poor Betty Waddle's feet. And he even tied up grand old Dr. Ida's feet too. Then, as the sun rose, one by one, the ducks awoke and stood up and immediately tripped over the shoelace, tumbling into a giant feathery flop on the floor. Quack! Ha ha! It's a Ryan Duckling classic! Well, Ryan Duckling had a good old chuckle at that. Ha ha! Then, soon, he was ready to play zoomies again. So, he gathered up his shoelace and called over to the other ducks. All right, duckies! Time for zoomies! Everybody out on the pond! But nobody moved. Come on! You're not chicken, are you?
Nobody calls me chicken.
Said the angry Betty Waddle.
Mostly because I'm a duck with a very sore beak from all that falling over. So I don't feel like playing zoomies at all.
So, Ryan Duckling was left alone on the pond. And quite soon he began to feel bored. And then he thought that maybe it was more fun when everybody could have the giggle together. So, the silly Ryan threw away the shoelace because now he realized that maybe he had taken his jokes a bit too far. And from then on, he would only make jokes if everyone could enjoy them. Quack! And now the Duckling Shoelace is here. So we need to reuse it.
Well, that is what a Jiffling does best, Albert. But what do you think it could be? Maybe it could be a pretend snake that we use when we dress you up as Amazon explorers. Well, that's a wonderfully creative thought. But then young Pumpkin stepped forwards and he looked very sadly at Miss Katy and Hedge.
Oh, I think we should use the shoelace as a big rope swing. So Miss Katy and Hedge can swing into the sea and get nice and clean. Then we can all enjoy the shoelace together without anyone getting upset. Yay!
What a lovely idea, Pumpkin. That sounds like great fun for an April day. So whilst the other Jifflings set up their new rope swing, young Pumpkin washed Miss Katy's cowgirl costume. And once they had all pulled on their armbands and goggles, they were ready for a go on their new swing.
Whoa!
So everybody had a wonderful time swinging into the water, getting nice and clean. And after a wonderfully fun day for everybody, they soon found they were quite dozy and snoozy, and so it must be time for bed. Good night, young pumpkin.
Good night.
Good night, Albert.
Hey, I'll see you in the morning, like.
Good night, Freidaline.
And it is a good night. Yeah.
Good night, Miss Katie. Night, night. Good night, Hedge. Hedge? Oh, I think the hedge is asleep already. And goodbye to you too, wherever you are. Maybe next time you see a thing that you might throw away, you'll stop and see if you can use it again, just like our friends the Jifflings. And maybe the thing you use again will have a story to tell too. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Bottleship. For all the parents listening, if you'd like to, you can donate to the show at patreon.com/Bottleship. And for all the children listening, if you enjoyed the show, please leave a review and share the podcast with your friends. We've had some lovely reviews this week, haven't we, Jifflings?
Yeah, that is correct. Like this review from South Africa. It says, "Hi, my name is Rachel and I am 4.5. I love listening to Bottleship. The Jifflings are so nice and funny. My favourite Jiffling is Freidaline, because Freidaline follows the fun Jiffmas traditions. Ha! Here's an idea for a story. What if the Jifflings found a fairy's wand? Love, Rachel from Cape Town, South Africa."
Ooh, thank you, Rachel. That's a great review. And a brilliant idea for the story too.
Like, yeah, man. And we've had this review from the USA. It says, "My name is Luna. I'm 6 years old and live in Miami, Florida, USA. Me and my brother Nico, who is 3, love the Jifflings, and every time we are in the car, we want to listen to what they'll find in the ocean. My favorite is Pumpkin. He's funny. And Nico's favorite is Hedge, especially when he falls asleep at the end of each episode."
Hedge? Hedge? You can't go to sleep now.
Well, like then Luna says, "Thank you for teaching us ways to reuse what we have."
Ooh, thank you very much, Luna and Nico. What a special review. Aye, and thank you to everyone who left us a review or sent us an email, like Amelie in Bristol, UK, and Sarah in the town of Vienna in the USA.
Yes, thank you all very much. We really do love to hear from everyone. And if you'd like to send us an email, please send it to thejifflings@gmail.com. Also, if you like listening to stories, why not check out our sister podcast, Storytime, for children of all ages. Thanks again, and we'll bring you more exciting adventures with our friends the Jifflings very soon. Goodbye.